Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1397 of What's She Up To Now, sharing experiences that I've had in business, both offline and on, over the last 6+ decades, and actually only business for just under 5 decades now. I think I started my first business when I was 13, and I'm not quite 63, so it hasn't been 5 decades yet. But it's getting there. It's getting closer than I care to admit. So today, I want to just run through the quick pieces of content I shared, and then I'll probably editorialize a little bit at the end instead of editorializing at the beginning. Our Do One Thing Every Day That Centers You, our annual challenge this year, is all about getting to know ourselves better and centering ourselves. We only have like 35 days left. I realized that today, and I'm like, wow. At the beginning of the year, whenever I do an annual challenge, it seems like it's going to be forever, and how am I ever going to come up with something to talk about every single day for a year, which is what I'm doing next year. I'm not using one of these little journal books. This is a little mindfulness journal. I am doing something totally different next year for the annual challenge, which I'm super excited about. But it's easy to pick up this little book and just say, okay, what do we got today? And then I automatically do something every day that moves me toward what I want. I want to understand myself better. I want to work on different areas and aspects of my life, which this book, does for a lot of people and has helped me with. And this is actually the 4th of these journals that I've done, and it's helped me to increase my comfort zone. It's helped me to be happier. It's helped me to have more fun last year, and this year to get to know myself better, to really understand and be more centered, understand what areas and aspects of my life are important and what is important to me, because bottom line, it doesn't matter what's important to anybody else. It matters what's important to you. If your priorities are to be in the best physical shape you could possibly be, it doesn't matter if anybody else agrees with that. Even the people you love and care about, that's what's most important to you. It doesn't matter if you want to create $1 billion business and nobody around you supports you or believes in you. What matters is what you believe, and that you can create and do and be and have anything that you want. So today was, and I actually like these. This was a little targeted exercise, and they actually make a target and they talk about something that centers us. Today was about nature. I am a big nature gal, so this was an easy one for me to do first thing this morning. But it says nature that centers me a bit more, even more, and then completely in the center. And so I shared the things that center me for our annual challenge. And I like the ones, okay, I'm not going to lie, who doesn't like the easy ones? Every once in a while, we need an easy one to take up and make up for the ones that are hard, because some of the daily challenges actually are hard and a challenge. They push us, they push me, they push you to think about things we've never even thought about before. I mean, some of them, I remember the one that said, hey, you have to go offline for 24 hours. I'm like, no, not going to do it. I need a little more notice than right now to go offline for 24 hours. So then last week, as we were digging holes to put in the deck, I think it was last week ago, Saturday, week ago Friday, they were digging holes. The auger was digging holes to put in the footings for the new front deck, and it cut the internet cable. So lo and behold, off the internet for my 24 hours. But it was, a couple of weeks after the book had said, hey, you need to go offline. At first it was an hour, then 3 hours, then half a day. And those were easy to do, right? But when it said 24 hours, I was like, no, can't do that right now. I've got commitments and I've got people I need to communicate with. So that's not going to happen. But then nature, the universe said, yeah, it's going to be today. And even though I said I wouldn't do it without any notice, I ended up having to figure out a way to make it happen without any notice. Did the world end? No, everything kind of clicked along as usual. There was literally no change. Called a few people and let them know we needed to reschedule certain things. But for the most part, it was a non-issue. How many times do we blow things up and think they're going to be, and I did that in this situation as well. So I taught myself that, guess what? Sometimes even I still make a big deal out of things that aren't really a big deal. Our idiom for today, for Supersize Your Business, we're doing money idioms for the month of November. Last month I think we did time. I've already forgotten. How crazy is that? Did a whole month on a topic and now I forgot what it is. But I think it was time last month. And this month it has been a money idiom every day. Next month, I think I'll pick a theme too. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. Maybe it'll be Christmas or giving or something to do with the holiday season. I mean, it's a business related supersizing your business is about growing and building your business, but I like to tie it to other things and what they mean to that, to make it kind of a stretch. It's sort of like improv. We make things a stretch. They give you a topic and you're like, oh, to get off scot-free, which is our idiom for today. And then I have to think about, okay, what does that mean? Where did it come from? How does that tie to, and how can we use that to grow and build and supersize our business? Well, I guess I concluded today that in order to get off scot-free, just as we supersize our business, just do what's right. Do the right thing, right? Do the right thing that's in alignment with your business, your beliefs, your systems, your processes, your procedures. Do the right thing by yourself, by your customers, by other people. If you do the right thing, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about, are we doing the right ththing when everybody's looking? And then what if somebody's looking and we're doing the wrong thing? You don't have to ever think about that because you're always doing the right thing. You're always paying your taxes. You're not paying more than you have to, because that's why there's such crazy tax law, but you're paying what you're supposed to pay. You're following the rules and the regulations of different groups or different organizations that regulate and oversee your particular industry. I was in the food industry for a lot. I was in the personal care industry for a long time. So whether it's the FDA, the USDA, the certified organic, whatever it is that applies to your business, OSHA for a lot of companies, make sure that you are meeting and exceeding those guidelines. Why? Not because you're just meeting the guidelines or the rules, but because it's the right thing for your people, your business, your places, and for the world. Do the right thing. And then remember that you're accountable and responsible for everything, whether somebody sees it or not, because it can always be found out later. Nowadays, I used to tell my kids when they were growing up, guys, you're growing up in a different time than I grew up in. You have to pay attention, because what you say and what you do, especially what you write and share, it's out there in the world, and it's out there forever. It never goes away. So you're held to a higher standard of accountability and responsibility, because there's proof of your behavior, and it can often be taken out of context. I mean, I watched the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, and I was horrified at how that was handled, and things were taken out of context and absolutely lied and manipulated about. And that's what I've tried not to talk about it when I was talking about to get off scot-free, but I think I did talk about it because it's really been upsetting to me the way people are behaving and manipulating that, and trying to destroy a young man for their own political gain and for their own gain. Rioters, lying politicians, lying media, corrupt media, social media included, they all need to be held accountable for their actions. And right now, in a lot of instances, they're not being held accountable. I actually got a warning the other day from Facebook because I said, kill the bill on a post. That was my comment on a post, and I got a warning and almost lost my account because I said kill the bill. I didn't say kill Bill, I said kill the bill, talking about this giant $1 trillion bill that the United States government and the Nancy Pelosi and her gang are trying to pass, and President Biden, they're trying to pass this huge lying 2,000-page bill that even the people that are supporting it don't know what's in it. There's so much corruption and fat and unnecessary spending built in it, and padding for their special interests that it's mind-blowing. Anyway, I said kill the bill and almost got kicked off Facebook. So if I disappear from Facebook, it's because I chose to comment on something that I probably shouldn't comment on. But really, I shouldn't. I think we should all weigh in on what we think is right and what we think is not right, and draw that line in the sand and live by our own standards, and know that we're accountable and responsible for our beliefs. We get to choose our beliefs, but we need to also be responsible and accountable to them. Rioting is crime, and there's rioters and people that are committing crimes being off scot-free. There are people pouring into the border of the United States right now that are actual criminals and terrorists, and there's nothing being done about it until, even when somebody gets murdered, there's nothing being done about it, or raped. It's mind-boggling to those of us with a brain in the United States. So, off that subject, because it is obviously a highly charged emotional topic for me, right? I believe everybody needs to be held accountable and to do what's right. And it really irritates me when a lot of people, especially people in power, aren't doing what's right and are lying and cheating and padding their own pockets because they're greedy. And it's just unacceptable. So, to get off scot-free was our money idiom. Of course, it has to do with taxes. I thought the history of that one was really interesting. It goes back to the 10th century, where the British charged a redistribution tax. Oh, sounds like what might be trying to go on in America right now with inflation and this huge bill and things. I said kill the bill. I should have probably been careful. My Uncle Bill died yesterday, so that was sad. He's the final member of my father's family, his immediate family. He was the last one. He's well into his 90s. Love the man. Love. Gonna miss him dearly. But his last few years have not been, what they had been when he was at his life and prime. So I understand. I'm sad, but we will, this too shall pass. Money idiom are no nonsense. November today was about starting. Getting started, just starting, which actually gave me the idea for tomorrow's already, which I love when that happens. So tomorrow we'll talk about not quitting and about quitting in general. But today we talked about starting and the importance of just starting, getting started, pushing the button, pushing the timer, and then just doing it, just taking some action. I talked about how I had to set my alarm clock across the room so I would get up, because the hardest thing we do every day is to get out of bed, and shared some other stories about that. But we just need to start first by taking the first action, the first step to support a decision or a choice that we've made. And once we start, then momentum and things will kick in, and then it actually takes something to stop us from doing something. I think of habits. It's kind of hard to start good habits, but once we get going on them, they're easier and easier to do. But the hardest is the first day that we do it, right? The first day that we do the thing. Getting out of bed in the morning. Starting a business. Excuse me. Definitely under the weather today. The hardest thing to do is to get started doing it. And then pretty soon it becomes a habit. I've gotten in the habit, much to people's dismay, of doing videos every single day. Could I stop today? I don't feel good. I'm feeling under the weather. I was sick this morning. Not my cooking, according to my daughter, because she didn't get sick, but I was definitely feeling under the weather this morning. I say too many cookies. So once we get going, but it's the starting that's the hardest. And then do we change our mind and move our directions? Yes, absolutely, but we got to start. So I love Mel Robbins' 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 blast off. You can use that or whatever works for you. I always did 3, 2, 1, or as soon as I heard the bell, I moved immediately. I took action immediately. Alarm goes off, out of bed. Did that happen overnight? No. It took me quite a while and ways of tricking myself into realizing, hey, the hardest thing I have to do is get out of bed. So if I can get out of bed and I'm moving and I have to stand up to move, everything will fall into place. All right, love to know what's going on with you. It's Black Friday here in the United States. I am not going shopping. I don't even know if I'm going to go online to shop. Maybe, maybe not. I haven't done my Christmas stuff, so I probably should. But again, little rocky under the weather, so I might lay low today. Have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, if you have a question, it's holiday weekend, so I am not working with clients or consultant clients today, or customers, whatever we want to call them. I call them something different all the time. Mostly I call them friends. You're welcome to try to get a hold of me and ask a question. Like I always say, if I don't know the answer, I guarantee I know somebody or something that can help you to take that next step or to get started. I don't want anybody to ever feel like I did sometimes, where like I didn't know what to do. I think I don't know what to do is something we tell ourselves to let ourselves off the hook. It's one of those excuses that we can actually convince ourselves is true, but it's absolutely positively a lie. When I challenge myself, whenever I say I don't know what to do, if I challenge myself, I'm like, really? Do you really not know what to do next? Do you really have zero, nothing, absolutely nothing you can do or think about or look at or look into or investigate? And I always know that I'm fibbing to myself. All right, so that might be true for you too. Have an awesome day. If I can help you, ask. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow.